Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Bodybuilding Made Easy. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking a lot because we got the Pure Athletic Classic coming up in just 18 weeks. We've been interviewing some top IFBB pros, asking them for advice. I thought today we'd touch on something that I found extremely beneficial. I've been coaching for, 10 plus years now. Coaching led me into actually creating HD muscle and formulating a lot of these products were actually formulated in keeping in mind like products I needed for my clients. One of the things I can't stress the importance of enough is just the importance of sleep, which is going to tie into stress and cortisol. Those three things are very, very important when preparing for a competition, because if you're not sleeping well and your stress is high and your cortisol is high, body isn't going to function efficiently. That was one of the things throughout the years when preparing for shows. Sometimes I'd be working with coaches. A lot of people just think less is more. So, if an athlete's not improving or making the progress week to week that they should be, okay, let's hire cardio, let's decrease calories. And we think that that's going to equal a leaner physique. But I think what a lot of people miss along the way is that if we're increasing cardio and we're lowering calories, that can increase the amount of stress and it can higher our cortisol levels in our body. And when our cortisol is high, stress is high, we're not going to sleep as well. We're not going to burn fat as efficiently. And our muscles are not going to recover as well as they should be. One of the things to watch for when you're preparing for a competition is lowering your calories too quickly. We want our metabolisms to be high and elevated. And if we lower them too quickly, our BMR can lower, our basal metabolic rate. So the calories that we burn when we're not training, just sitting here throughout the day, relaxing, working, it can lower. So now your body is actually burning less calories, and you have to rely on things like cardio to burn more calories, or activity, which then can increase stress and cortisol in the body. One trick that I like to use is actually first thing in the morning when you wake up, if you get yourself like a good quality thermometer that you can check your temperature first thing in the morning. You want to be in the 36.4 to 36.8 temperature range. And if you start your diet, and let's say you're eating 2,800 calories and you're healthy, and now you start dieting, lowering your calories, and you notice, oh shoot, I'm dipping 36.2 or 36.3. That's a good gauge for your metabolism, your thyroid function. And what I like to do is use that as a tool with clients and myself when I'm dieting, that when I see that morning temperature drop, I can utilize certain things like calories to actually manage and increase my metabolism. Maybe I'll do 3-4 lower carb days, and maybe on that third or fourth carb day, I notice, oh shoot, my temperature's starting to drop. Now I'll use a higher carb day to stimulate my metabolism, get that hormonal response, especially with the thyroid, and now kick my metabolism back up. So I'm staying in that healthy range. So my BMR is higher, my metabolism's higher. I'm burning more calories when I'm in and out of the gym. So another thing to watch for, if coaches are like, have you on low calories, that's already one thing to watch out for when it comes to, metabolic damage. Like if your calories are low and they can't pull from calories to create a deficit, they now need to throw a lot of expenditure at you in the forms of activity, cardio, weight training. So now if you're dealing with higher amounts of cardio, there's gonna be more stress on the body, there's gonna be more cortisol. And when we look at cortisol and what that can do to the body, it can downregulate thyroid function, it can interrupt your sleep. And now we look at everything combined as far as an efficiency standpoint, how our body hormonally is responding. It's like we're working really hard, running at a very, very inefficient state. So, and I know people have probably been there before where you're like not getting any progress. You're like, this doesn't make sense. How does this make sense? Some girls are eating 1,400 calories and they're doing 2 hours of cardio. Why am I not progressing? Why am I not losing any weight? It's because hormonally cortisol's through the roof, which is going to also increase water retention. Their stress markers are up. Thyroid function's taking a hit. They can barely sleep. And all these things combined create a really, really bad environment to burn body fat and for you to reach your goals to be in the shape you need to be at when it comes to peak week. So instead of like working within the diet and like focusing on sleep, they focus on drugs, right? So now it's like, oh, there's thyroid suppression. So now we're going to jack them up with T3 and T4 because they're not sleeping or their thyroid's in an unhealthy state. So it's like a slippery slope. I feel like a lot of coaches are just relying on massive calorie deficits, huge expenditure, which is super unhealthy. And then they're relying on drugs to clean up the mess from the dieting and the expenditure, right? Which then specifically, I see this a lot with girls, which then leaves them in a really, really bad position when the competition's done. So now they're dealing with like their ghrelin hormones, like all messed up. And now they're dealing with a really, really unhealthy environment and the rebound effect from that. Now they have a slower metabolism. Now they have ghrelin hormones all messed up, so they have food cravings are through the roof. Their metabolic rate is lower, so if they're eating 1,300 calories, even if they try and be really strict and they're like, hey, I'm going to be really good and just eat 2,000 calories because they're having some slip-ups, that's still such a huge percentage from 1,300 calories to 2,000 calories because their metabolic rate has lowered over diet. It's low. Their metabolism is low. So now they get fat when they're eating 2,000 calories, so it's really, really dangerous. So it's a really good tool to use the thermometer to gauge that your metabolism as you're coming down. We were talking about even with the GLP-1s, right? What's dangerous about them, right? And it's like if someone uses it and it suppresses their appetite, now they're not going to eat. So what happens when these people take these GLP-1s? Okay, I don't feel hungry, so I'm going to eat less because I want to get leaner faster, right? I want to get to my goal. Their hunger hormone is they don't feel hungry. So now they sort of lean into that, don't eat, so they lose weight very, very quickly, which is one thing, right? And they think this is amazing. But then when they get there, whether it's however long later, 2 months, 3 months, now their metabolism is so slow because low calories, right? Not only that, there's a rebound effect from them with ghrelin, right? So no matter what, when you come off that drug, you are going to be hungry as shit. And it's going to be very hard to even manage that. So when you look at like, say, Ozempic, you look at tirzepatide, all these ones that are trending, right? Now there's retatrutide. So now when they get there, not only are they dealing with that, but they have ghrelin that they have to like focus on, but now they have a slow metabolism. So I think the reason why such a large percentage of these people are gaining all the weight that they lost during the process is because of metabolic damage. When they're there, they were only eating 1,400 calories, 1,300 calories, which is super unhealthy. If they just like bump their calories to 2,500, with the amount of metabolic damage they had, they're doomed because they can't control themselves. And surely the calories at the end of the week, because of slip-ups, they go to the drive-thru, they end up having a burger, end up having ice cream. Their calories, they can't control themselves. But even if they do try and control themselves really well and they're only eating 2,500 calories, they're still going to get fat because you went from 1,300 to 2,500 calories. You almost just doubled your calories and you've got a slow metabolism. And now you're like torturing yourself because you're so hungry because ghrelin is just like through the roof, which takes time for that hormone to balance out. My advice to anyone who is doing that or working with a doctor or has a script, I would just make sure that you are eating your meals and you're managing your temperature to make sure that you're not, going to suffer from metabolic damage at the end of it. So this is pretty interesting. Poor sleep actually does raise ghrelin hormone and it lowers leptin. So you're going to left feeling really hungry and not satiated because your ghrelin actually decreases. When we develop the Sleep HD, everyone just thinks like, oh, it's just going to help sleep because of all the benefits you're getting when your body's in a deeper sleep, which we've sort of spoken about stress and cortisol and all these things. Well, if your body's not sleeping, your cortisol goes up, your stress goes up, ghrelin goes up, leptin goes down. So all these things are going to make your prep a lot harder. So a product like Sleep, there's not only ingredients in here like valerian root that increases the onset of your sleeping, so like you fall asleep a lot faster, but there's lots of ingredients in here that actually lower your stress and cortisol. Like for example, like phosphatidylserine serum, a really, really good ingredient to lower cortisol. A lot of products will actually throw like melatonin in, which in my opinion, I don't like to mess with because it can throw off your circadian rhythm. To me, that's very important. We actually use VitaCherry, which actually increases your body's own natural melatonin production, but not only does it do that to promote deeper sleep, it's actually very anti-inflammatory, which is going to help you recover faster from your workouts, which is going to benefit your prep. So there's so many ingredients in Sleep HD that make it more than just a sleep product. This is going to be like a sleep recovery. I mean, the better your sleep is, you're looking at better fat loss. You're looking at better thyroid function if you're sleeping better. So this is one of the most underrated products on the market. I can't say enough good things about it. I recommend you guys try Sleep HD, especially if you're prepping. We all know the stressful states of contest prep. Cortisol has natural functions in the body, right? So it spikes first thing in the morning. That's what wakes you up out of bed. Sometimes you're sleeping and you kind of want to keep sleeping, but you're like, oh, I can't. I feel anxious. I feel like because cortisol is highest in the morning time. If you're prepping and you're doing a lot of like cardio activity, you're in a lower calorie deficit and cortisol and stress is high, you're going to have a hard time relaxing at night. So the ingredients in here are going to help your body relax. Like, there's a high dose of magnesium biglycinate, things like zinc biglycinate, all helps with like hormonal balance. supplements to help your body relax, sleep, recover, and like reducing inflammation as well. This is like a really, really good hybrid product. Doesn't only help with sleep. So we are 18 weeks out from the Pure Athletic Classic and Fitness Expo. We're very excited about this competition. We have a lot of cool things going on, with one of them being for the first 50 athletes to register, you're gonna get a free Pre-HD Essentials, you're gonna get a free Elevate Cream of Rice, and you're gonna get a $25 gift card for the HD Muscle website. Not only that, but there's an early bird special as well. So there's lots of savings, lots of freebies. So guys, make sure to head over to the website and sign up now if you're thinking about doing this show, which is 18 weeks away. If you guys are a vendor and you want to be at the expo, all of our packages are available now. So please DM us if you want to be at the event. We have a limited space available. So we look forward to hearing from you guys. So I'm very excited about this show because one, everyone that's behind the show is a big fan of bodybuilding. We've all competed before. We all love this. And to have the opportunity to put on a show for the community and for the athletes, you know, and bring in guest posers and have an expo, bring in athletes, bring in influencers to the community, have people come and meet these people is a great opportunity for us. And it's something we've always wanted to do. And this is going to be the first year that we're going to have the Fitness Expo component added to the show. So we're hoping that we can grow this year to year. And yeah, it's just a very exciting opportunity. HD Muscle and Elevate, you know, we sponsor a lot of athletes. And with this show just being a couple weeks after the Mr. Olympia competition is just an amazing time, because now we're able to schedule some of these athletes in their best shape of their life to come guest pose or just do a meet and greet. So yeah, this is a really exciting competition, and we're looking to grow this year to year.
Are you going to be competing?
I'm not going to talk about that. When's this come out, Mariah?
Hopefully for August. So we're getting things ready right now. We're getting the label finalized so we can get
This has been the longest formulated product in HD Muscle history. It's just 2 years in the making. So yeah, really excited about this product. Been working on it for a very long time. Something that I've used myself for 10 plus years, first thing in the morning when I wake up to get hydrated, and with my clients. So what makes this product unique, and in my opinion, the best electrolyte supplement on the market, is that it's very, very balanced. It has all your minerals. The sources, like the magnesium, is biglycinate. So again, the most bioavailable source of magnesium. It has 670 milligrams of sodium per serving. So what I commonly see on the market is there's a lot of products out there that claim they're electrolyte supplements, but they're not balanced. They lack certain minerals. They might have a high amount of potassium, but they don't even have sodium in it. So in my opinion, in order to be a true hydration electrolyte supplement, you have to have all the minerals. You have to have an adequate amount of sodium. We've gone one step further and added things like taurine. We've also added the coconut powder. So this is a very, very balanced hydration supplement. When you are adding a lot of these minerals, it's very, very tricky to flavor. Some of them taste really bitter. So that's why this product took a lot longer than a lot of other products to actually formulate to get the proper ratios, because we didn't want to just come out with a product that tasted good without having the proper ratios of all the different minerals. So very excited for this supplement. You guys can see this coming to a store near you or hdmuscle.com in the next, how long?
It should be this August coming.
This August.
Hopefully. Like, this is the first draft of a label, and we're just going over it right now, fine-tuning it, looking to make sure like all the copy on it looks good, the call-outs, all those sort of fun things, just kind of going over the fine-tooth comb. We have a lot of fun because we have to do Canadian and American labels, so this particular label we're looking at right now has French on it. That's kind of the steps we're at now. This will hopefully be finalized by Scott in maybe a week. Hopefully we can send it off to print and then have these in hand in July, start our marketing, and
we'll see it in August.
Hopefully, yeah, that's the plan.
Just a reminder, if you're having this on your meal plan, you can also have this. Both of these products are white rice. Carbohydrates can play a key factor in actually raising leptin, which is going to make you feel more satiated, more full, and actually driving down ghrelin hormone so you don't feel as hungry. And on top of that, it's also going to boost your metabolic response. So it's going to make your metabolism higher and stimulate your thyroid. So a lot of people are scared of carbohydrates when it comes to dieting, but they can be used as a very useful tool. You know, of course, there's periods of time that we need to go into a major deficit, deplete glycogen, but they can also be used as a tool to stimulate leptin, to stimulate the metabolism for healthy thyroid. So those are some cool benefits that you can get from cream of rice, and it tastes amazing. This July 1st and the 4th of July, we're going to be having a store-wide sale over at Elevate. You guys can get 15% off the entire store. July 1st to the 6th, we're having a site-wide sale on htmuscle.com. Everything will be 20% off. If you haven't had the chance to try our new Pre-HD Essential, now's your time to get it 20% off. This is actually my favorite pre-workout right now. I switched between the watermelon and the pineapple, but it's also available in blue raspberry. So make sure to head over to the website, guys. Take advantage of the sale, 20% off. Thanks so much for watching, guys. It's time for me to head to the gym. I got a leg workout scheduled with Blake, so I'm gonna get this in me, and here we go, legs.